guys, we got all of our materials right here that we're going to need. Okay, we got the black paper, we got the white paper. I'm going to start out just by step showing you guys how to kind of draw this out, how we're going to transfer this, okay, and then how you're going to basically how you're going to get your pieces. You are going to need scissors, glue. If you need to mix up more of these colors, you guys can easily do that. And then once again, too, I would get your idea online, and you can always modify it. You know, I like this fish because it's kind of cool, but it's a little bit easier too. But you can always change it around a little bit. But you want to think about how you can create all these different shapes, okay, on here and be able to represent them through the colors that you were blending yesterday. So first thing is this, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the side. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to trace out. I'm going to draw out the shape that I want here. So what I'm going to do is this, you guys. I'm just going to go in here, okay, and I'm just going to draw in my fish. Now, you guys, if you're not really good at drawing, remember, you can go ahead, you can create a more geometric design and pattern. And all you'd really need is like a circle stencil, maybe like a straight edge and stuff like that. And you can really do some kind of fun things with that. You guys saw that there was some more abstract examples when I showed, and those turned out pretty good too. But I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to take this, kind of clean this up here a little bit. All right. And then I want to break this into sections, you know, just like stained glass. Now, some of you may have taken stained glass with Grandma Shar over summer school. I was always amazed and impressed as far as what she was able to do. I was always amazed too that more people didn't cut their fingers off the glass because it's very sharp. But yeah, those things happen, but it's really kind of fun to see what people come up with. And like I said, you guys can always change and modify this, okay? I'm going to change some of the lines up on here on this fish as well. All right, because I don't know if I like the way the fins are going. I'm going to actually kind of add the little fins like this. That looks pretty good. So I've got that there. But ooh, no, I like the stripes here though. Those are kind of cool. We're going to create like little stripes in through here too, okay? I'm going to kind of put this up through here, boom, like this, and we're going to put one more in here, okay? So there we go. So I've got that now. I got my fish. But then for my background, you guys, I got these lines going down. I don't know if I want those. I'm going to actually go ahead and create, oops, that's going to be a small shape. You got to think about this too, guys. It'll be kind of a smaller shape, but that's all right. All right, we'll make that work, okay? All right, I'm going to bring this up here like this. We're going to bring this one over here. We're going to make it look a little bit like water, kind of the water. So this will probably be blue. I'll probably make my fish shape a little bit bigger or more kind of a brighter color. Maybe make it a little bit more tropical looking. Boom, I'm going to do this. And we're just going to go ahead and do this. So you guys, I have all of these shapes are going to be represented by a piece that I painted yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to go in here now. I've got this taken care of. Now, the next thing I want to do is I need to burnish the back of this. Okay, and a lot of you remember how to do this. You're just going to take your pencil and you want to put a nice layer of value over the top of this. Okay, just put a nice layer of carbon on here. And what's going to happen is this, or I should say graphite. This is going to turn this piece of paper into a piece of carbon paper. Okay, or copy paper. You'll be able to kind of take this now and transfer it onto your other sections that you need. Okay, it is. And what I like about this too, you guys, is that there's a process involved here. That's why I guess we're making this video, because it's kind of nice to be able to kind of go back and say, oh gosh, what was this step here? But it also gets confusing because there are so many steps and it is such a process. Okay, so you kind of keep that in mind. So what's kind of nice is that you get to kind of mix it up a little bit. There's a lot of different steps, but it can get a little confusing. Okay, it's just class of Mr. Krause. Keeping it confusing. Keeping it confusing. All right, so there you go. So this should be pretty good. Now, if you notice that when you trace out, you guys, it's not leaving kind of an imprint. You may have to put a little bit more graphite on here. But for right now, it should be pretty good. And remember, too, anytime we do this, guys, I always like to take a little Kleenex or paper towel and just kind of smear this around a little bit. That just kind of takes a little bit of the excess and kind of moves that graphite around, too, so it maybe gets to an area that you might have missed. All right, so the first thing I want to do is this. I want to take this, okay? Got my design. Okay, it's been approved. And I want to go ahead, I want to transfer my design onto my black piece of paper. That's going to be nice because that's going to allow me to know where these shapes go. Otherwise, it will be a nightmare. It will be a headache, and I don't want any more headaches, okay? I got my kids doing online school. I got a new puppy already. This quarantine is giving me a headache. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of do this right here. Once again, you guys, too, when we trace things out, sometimes a ballpoint pen works pretty good for this, okay? So if you want to, it's kind of nice because it's got the little roller. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to trace over everything here. Now, you may have to press down a little bit harder And I want to take a little peek, make sure it's oh boy, I don't know if that's transferring very well, you guys. Yeah, we're gonna have to put a little bit more graphite and learn from Mr. Carlson. It's good to kind of do this before I trace the whole thing out. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's not even showing up. So what I need to do is this. I need to haul out the big guns. Now, you guys, I didn't give you guys any fancier pencils, unfortunately. I kind of wish I would have. I think if I go over this again with a 2B pencil or just a regular number 2 pencil, I'd be fine. I'm actually going to haul out a little bit more of a 4B, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it goes a little bit quicker. If you do put a little bit more of another layer on, I think you'd be all right. Okay, but you can see, look at how much darker it's getting. Okay, so kind of learn from this. All right, try to make sure that you get a copious amount of graphite on here. All right, make sure that you get it all kind of spread around here a little bit too. And it does. It gets a little tedious, and I'm kind of glad that I went with a little bit smaller size, because this would have probably been kind of a arduous task for a lot of you to get this on here. Come on, get on here. All right. Okay. Now we should be able to get this guy taken care of. All right. So once again, I'm going to grab my paper towel. I'm going to smear this around. All right. We're going to go back and tape this over the top. And if this doesn't turn out, I'm going to sit and cry. All right. No, I won't do that. I'll wait till I go home to do that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and tape it down. Now, the reason why I tape it down, you guys, just I don't want it moving around too much on me. I want to make sure that it does stay put. All right, let's test this sucker out. Remember, I want to kind of press down kind of hard here. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. Oh, yep, that's showing up. Now, you guys aren't going to be able to see this very well, and that's fine. But I will. I'll try to hold it up to the camera. What's kind of nice too is obviously it's black, and it's probably not going to show up the greatest with this graphite. But with that being said, you will be able to see it because a lot of times that graphite has a little bit of a shine to it. All right, and that's what you have. And if you wanted to as well, you could actually go back over and kind of go a little bit, do a little bit more pencil on it to kind of get it to show up a little bit more. And that might not be a bad idea either. All right. But no, I like the graphite because if you do end up kind of making some mistakes, it kind of gets covered up a little bit. All right, we could have gone with maybe some white charcoal on the back of this too. The only problem is sometimes that white charcoal gets smudgy and smeary. Sounds like a comedy team. And it kind of creates a mess. So, all right, hold on. Oh, sugar. I'm almost done here. And okay, we're good. All right, yeah, that looks good. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I can. Especially if I kind of tilt it in the light, I can really see it. Kind of go a little bit slow. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it there. So that's what you want. Now, here's the next step, you guys. I'm going to put this to the side, okay? And then I'm going to grab these, and I'm going to start thinking about, oh, what do I want to use for my background, right, for my water? Got my blues up here. I might want to do a little bit more blue and white gradation, okay, for that. But for my fish, I'm thinking, yeah, look at this. Like this and these would be kind of cool too. So I'm going to go in here, guys, and let's see what we can kind of create with these. I'm going to take, and I'm going to do kind of alternate stripes. I'm going to do darker stripes here. I'm going to do lighter ones here. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to say for the body of the fish, I'm going to take this, okay? I'm going to trace this out, okay? And once again, if it doesn't trace out, you might have to put some more graphite on. Oh, yep, I can see that. Easy peasy. Boy, it transferred really nicely onto the paint. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tape this. Okay? I'm going to cut this out. Oh, make sure that I don't cut off the end of it too here. All right, okay. Sometimes too, it gets a little tricky to see, but no, I can kind of make this out here. This looks pretty good here. And you guys, the other thing too, when kids do these, sometimes their pieces don't line up the best. You know, and that you guys know that. I mean, sometimes, you know, the art world, things aren't perfect. You know, look at Bob Ross. I mean, he made a mint. Well, he's no longer with us, but he made a mint coming up with phrases and slogans like "happy little accidents" because he knew that things would not be perfect. Okay. Now, here's a little recommendation too. Okay, I've got my black. It's not a bad idea to get these glued down right away. Right. So this would be my first piece. Would go right in here like this. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead. I want to get a few more pieces on here. Remember I said I wanted to kind of alternate things. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and do my lighter color down here. I'm just going to trace this one out. All right. Oop, I got my eyeball. Oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to do that eyeball. I better make sure I get that in there too. I might have to do that a little bit later here, but I'm just going to kind of trace that. Oh my gosh, look at how easy that turned out here. You can really see that. Okay. Fortunately, my workspace here too is not the biggest. So I'll get these 2 pieces cut out just so you guys get an idea. You should be good to go. And you want to do this, guys. Everything from your background to your foreground space is going to be utilizing these shapes. But you need to think about, all right, what colors do I want to make things? Okay. And well, like I said, too, you may have to go back and you may have to redo a color. You may have to make another color here too. I mean, it's just, it is kind of a process involved. Here, let's go ahead. Let's move this out of the way here too, so we've got a little better idea. Okay. So right now I've got these shapes right here. Okay. All right. I got my eye. I got to get rid of my eye here too. I got to trim this off a little bit too. I'm going to kind of round off this nose here. Bam. All right. And then for doing this eye, you know what? I can actually go in here, cut this little circle out. You know what? I want to do like a different color for my eye. So I may end up doing the eye a little bit later. I'll get another circle to kind of go in there. Okay. So I got these 2 shapes here. Now, for gluing these down, like I said, just so that you don't lose your pieces, I would glue these down as you go along. Okay. It makes a lot more sense. I like to go ahead, sometimes use a piece of scrap paper underneath here too. If I'm using glue stick, even if I'm using Elmer's glue, and make sure you get enough on here, you guys, because you don't want pieces falling apart. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of place this down here. You know, what's interesting too, I always tell kids that when my daughters were younger, they actually got things very similar to this, but they were stickers. And there were stickers in these shapes, and they would go ahead and they put them on a piece of paper. Now, the other thing too is this, you guys, is you want to make sure that you do have like a little space, a little separation in between here. It's kind of nice to have that black show through. So if you notice, you put it on here, you go, oh, you know what, Miss Carlson, I don't really have a lot of black showing through. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim off a little bit over the top of this. Okay. This, I'm just going to trim just a little bit. And that way you get to see some of that black kind of separating this out. Boom. All right, let's see if we got this here. And it's just kind of cleans it up a little bit too. All right, there you go. That's actually pretty good. And for the next one down, then I can add a little more space there. You know, and it looks like too, I got a little bit too much here. Okay. I'm going to just snip this off right there. There we go. That looks good. All right. So there you go. I got my 2 pieces on here. All right. Not too shabby. Then I'm ready to go ahead and kind of add my other 2 pieces as well. But it's not a bad idea to make sure that you leave like a little black separation in between here, just to kind of get that whole kind of stained glassy effect too, which is really kind of nice. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to continue on with this and kind of see what I can create. And what I'm going to do is this. We're going to go ahead and I think we created our wonderful